for tuning in to our video on the gospel and marriage, and we have done a conference or a workshop on this theme a couple of times, and some people couldn't make it, and so we wanted to get it on video. And some of the workshop is pretty interactive, and so we won't be able to do that, but we will have be able to have some of the teaching moments in it. Sarah and I are very passionate about the family and the gospel, and it's been a good marriage the last few years, putting those together, the gospel and marriage. And so we want to be able to share some of that with others, those around us, because it's been very helpful for us. Marriage can be heaven on earth or not heaven on earth. And Matthew 11:28-30 says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." I don't think that we characterize our lives as restful, generally speaking. But in Christ, in the gospel, we can find rest, and Jesus promises that. We are not teaching on how to not have stress or conflict at all in your marriage, because that's part of it. But dealing with everything that we deal with is important, to use the gospel to help us, and that can bring rest. So we're going to be talking about love, forgiveness, communication, sex, decisions, and rights that we have in our marriage. We'll see how the gospel can help us have a restful and peaceful marriage. Pretty much all the material we have is copied from somewhere. Books, a lot of biblical counseling material. Sarah has her master's in biblical counseling and has gone through a lot of books on that. Jokes, illustrations, graphics. We will try to include as many sources as we can in the notes, and have a place for you to get the notes. If you don't have them, you can email me or go to our website, download the notes there. But that would be helpful. Actually, if you haven't done that, we start out the workshop with a questionnaire out of a homework manual. We found that very helpful, because just within the questions we learned a lot about what marriage should be, and so that's would be a good thing to do. The Bible explains clearly how to not have problems in your marriage. 1 Corinthians 7:28 says, "All I'm saying is that when you marry, you take on additional stress in an already stressful time, and I want to spare you if possible." So, if you already got married, you weren't spared. The way to not have stress or problems in your marriage is to not get married at all. It's inevitable. Marriage is difficult. You know, Proverbs has some warnings too. Proverbs 25:24, "It's better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman and in a wide house." Hopefully you're not married to a brawling woman, but that is a possibility. Proverbs also says, "Where there are no oxen, the manger is clean." Where there are no oxen, the manger is clean. Do you like a clean house? How's your husband with maintaining that? If he's not there, maybe you'll have cleanliness, but you also won't have an ox. You won't have someone doing the work that he does. Those two verses were from Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. You can find that on YouTube. He has it's a lot longer. It's a few hours of YouTube watching if you want to watch that one, but it's pretty interesting. He has some good material. Okay, C.S. Lewis says, "We are half-hearted creatures, fooling about with drink and sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered us. Like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in a slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea. We are far too easily pleased." That's C.S. Lewis. There's so much richness in the gospel, and we are content to not seek after that truth. We're not content in absorbing the gospel in our lives and it being that peace-giving presence, the the joyful presence in our life. We're fine with just having a mediocre life as far as God's blessing goes. But if we can look into the gospel more, apply it to all areas of life, I hope that you are watching this video for yourself. You know, the temptation is to want to fix our spouse, because the spouse is the one that is the problem. Come on, honey, come over here. You got to watch this. You're going to need this, you know, and then praying the whole time. God, help him open his eyes. Help him to be better. G.K. Chesterton, who I really don't know who he is, this was out of a book. He responded to a newspaper question that said, "What is wrong with the world?" And his response was, "Me. What is wrong with the world is me." That's a great place to start with marriage. What is wrong with our marriage? I am. And I hope that you are watching the video hoping to see how you can do better in that.